Guys, it's rotation time, and we're not talking about rotating your tires. We're talking about rotating into altcoins that have not done shit, and, well, we'll be doing to altcoins that will be doing a lot more. We'll give our favorites. I think you guys are going to be very shocked, and I think Rob is going to be very mad at me when I share which one I am selling. Might not make a lot of sense, but I'm going to explain myself. Also, has the world turned upside down as JP Morgan Chase says Bitcoin's going to be at 170K in the next 6 months. What? What is going on with Jamie Dimon? Did he take the orange pill? We're going to talk about that. We have the one and only crypto lifer joining us today. He's going to break down the charts and the stochastic oscillator. We got a lot to talk about, man. I'm excited for today's show. People in the back, roll the intro.
Hola. It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. We take old, boring, stale information. We give it to you in a fun, sexy, entertaining, Las Vegas kind of way. If you have not watched us before, welcome to the club. This is where we take the predictions and we make them happen. We bring them to life. We tell you how to make money. Are you going to pay attention? Heed our advice and change your fortune. Maybe. We also get it wrong too, so I'm just throwing that disclaimer out there. For every 2 I get right, I get 1 wrong. And you guys love coming back in the chat and being like, you told me about whatever coin it was. I'm like, yeah, I got that one wrong. But I also got the other 2 right. If you were to equally diversify into the 3 of them, you'd be up right now.
I want to start the show off by giving an absolute massive shout out to Alex O's community. I was watching his live show yesterday. And you guys know we get a lot of bot comments, so I put the comments on the strictest, right? So I got to go in and improve like 95% of comments. And I shit you not, I spent 40 minutes this morning sifting through all these comments.
Come on back to me. Hold on. If anybody, particularly our mods, wants to manage our chat, then you're always welcome to do so. We're taking applicants. We don't really pay anything, but if you want to approve and disapprove ads,
what are you talking about, dude? Just shut up and let me finish what I'm saying.
I'm just saying that's like kind of what the mods do in real time.
Just shut up.
But if we got somebody to manage the chat,
Kevin, mute his microphone and please pull up my computer again. Thank you. Anyways, as I was saying before I got interrupted, big thanks to Alex O's community. A bunch of Otter Gang comments here, guys. I'm telling you, 40 minutes, like 250 comments. I think Alex said he was doing a giveaway, and so I wanted to give a big shout out to all of you guys from Alex O's community. We appreciate the support. We love you guys. And I told Alex yesterday on his stream that whoever he picks as a winner, we'll throw him $100 as a thank you. Also, our subscriber count went up, I think, 100. And so big shout out to you guys. Thank you very much for all your support. Let's start here. Let's start with Mr. Eric. When I saw this, I was like, what? This very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, now we have companies like Standard Chartered and MicroStrategy and Tom Lee and Fundstrat. They're always throwing out these crazy price predictions that you're kind of scratching your head. But when the guy or the bank that has been very anti-crypto for a very long time doesn't throw crazy price predictions out there relative to what we see from Standard Chartered and the aforementioned companies, you kind of pause and you're like, okay. Take a look at this. JP Morgan sees Bitcoin price reaching $170,000 within the next 6 to 12 months. What does this tell you about what JP Morgan thinks this cycle is going to be? He thinks either this is going to be a super cycle or an extended cycle, right? The 4-year cycle turned into a 5.5-year cycle. I don't know the answer to that, but here you go. Bitcoin could rise to around 170K within the next 6 to 12 months as leverage resets and its relative volatility versus gold improves. The analysts, led by Managing Director Nikolaos Panagouris, said in a Wednesday report that the crypto market has corrected by close to 20% from its recent highs, with the sharpest decline occurring on October 10th amid record liquidations in perpetual futures. the largest in crypto's history, followed by smaller ones on November 3rd. They said the November 3rd event came as investor confidence was further shaken by the over $120 million balancer exploit in the decentralized finance sector, which raised fresh concerns over protocol security. So, JP Morgan Chase, they think this is an extended cycle. Take a look at this, posted by Coin Bureau. As per CryptoQuant, addresses stacking Bitcoin have more than doubled in under 2 months, from 130K to 262K, showing whales are accumulating and accelerating their buys. Now, before we have this conversation, I do want to give a big thank you. Today's show is brought to you by none other than the #1 social gaming casino in the entire world, which is stake.us. Guys, we are doing our stake free roll tournament on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Free roll meaning you don't got to pay any money to get in, but if you win, you will get $250 of free stake cash. I approved a few people. There's only 7 slots open. I'm keeping a little bit of a runway. There's only 7 slots open. We have I'll share the post in the chat. I have a Google Docs form ready for you guys to fill out. All you got to do is fill it out. We just ask for to consent to a couple of things, like the actual tournament being shown on our channel on a live stream. And also to make sure that you do have a stake.us account because, well, that's what you're going to need. And I'm going to copy this and paste it in there. I put it on X, but I'm sure some people were scared to click a link because they thought it was a scam. But there you go. There's a Google form. If you want to play, all you got to do is just get a stake.us account. If you get approved, you'll get the password and then you'll join us and you'll be able to potentially win some free money. So big shout out to Stake for sponsoring the channel. Rob, if JP Morgan is right and Bitcoin gets to 170K in 6 to 12 months, we know that's a 70% gain from here. There could be more gains elsewhere, yes? Where would you be looking if JP Morgan Chase's kind of their prediction comes to life? Where are you going to look down the risk curve? Or the specific sector of altcoins? Are you looking at privacy?
I don't know. I mean, the altcoin market is just so fluid, and so currently it is privacy, securities, ZK roll-ups. That is what we're seeing. Also, sprinkle in a little bit of AI in there. And that's the current trend. In 6 months, I highly doubt those are going to be the ones that are ripping. But you very well could be. All I'm saying is that just in general, when it comes to crypto, you should keep a very progressive, forward-thinking mind frame. Don't marry your projects unless it's Bitcoin. Then cool, marry that thing. Like lock it up. Don't sell it. But everything outside of Bitcoin, like, you should reevaluate, I don't know, every 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. You know, and I said it yesterday, the whole hodl mentality is a curse if you're outside of Bitcoin. Like like you should question everything. Perhaps ETH isn't the best play in the world right now. Maybe you shouldn't hodl ETH for the next 15 years. Maybe it'll be replaced by something. It's hard to make an argument that Bitcoin won't bottom and then come back, right? You know that if Bitcoin crashes, it's going to come back up. That's for certain. Just the time frame's the question mark. But you can't say the same thing about all of the other altcoins. And so I just recommend to you that you keep a mindset that it's like, hey, is this continuing in the right direction, or is there just a trend to the downside and it doesn't seem like it's going to reverse? There's nothing wrong with exiting a project, waiting for the reversal and getting back in. I know it stings. It stings to say, oh, I could have bought the bottom, but like, wait for the trend to reverse, either on the chart or on the sentiment or on the headlines. Like, I don't know. Anyways,
I think, guys, I think AI is still going to be a big narrative. I really do. People have looked at me weird when I've said I was talking to one of my good friends, not you. I was talking to one of my good friends, and
not you.
Well, you're my best friend, so you're not a good friend. You're my best friend.
Oh man,
so
thanks, dude.
You're welcome. Remember that moment we had in the back? That sounded weird. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Well, when I dropped the XLR cord,
you know, I got. Rob has called me crazy. Well, not crazy, but he said, I don't know, man. I think AI's top. I've said AI is not.
Look at us. We
are not matching.
We
You're
got
wearing
turquoise.
green, I'm wearing blue. I have said AI is not done yet. AI is going to continue to rally. I've laid out my thesis. Rob has said, I think AI is topped. I was talking to a good friend of mine. They were saying, I don't know, man. AI is in a bubble. Michael Burry yesterday, right? The big short guy, the guy who shorted the crap out of the mortgage market in 2007, has said he's shorting everything AI. He thinks it's trading at too high of a multiple of their earnings. I think NVIDIA's at like a 60x. But in early 2001, you had some stocks and companies trading at 200x earnings. And so if you look at it that way, there's still room to go. But I think with AI, it's happening so fast and there's so many new and exciting things on the retail side that gets people excited. They're going to go down the risk curve. And guess what? I think crypto is going to be front and center. So for me, I'm looking at what's driving the narrative now and what I think will drive it in this next 6 to 12 months. I think AI is there and I think RWA is there and stablecoin infrastructure. That has not changed. This is my top 3. It hasn't changed for the last 6-7 months. Now, stablecoin infrastructure has sputtered a little bit. RWA definitely has
Privacy is
yeah.
obviously has to fit in there, man. I mean, you can write off Zcash as a one-off, but then you got Dash, and then you got the ZK roll-ups things rolling up right now. So it's an obvious trend. And if you guys keep pushing obvious trends to the side like it's a fad, like you're gonna miss out on gains. Maybe Zcash isn't the best time to buy. Maybe it keeps going. I don't know, but you got to recognize that, like, hey, this sector is hot right now. There's a lot of money to be made.
You know what else is hot right now? The guy waiting backstage. It's been a while since we brought this man on. The man's a legend. It's an absolute legend. Every time I see the number 333 anywhere, the first person I think about is
this is my my culinary homie, right? Every time we get together, man, we go out and just slam the best food out there, bro.
Slam the best. I've seen you eat your.
Hey, there you speak of the devil.
What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
Yeah, we went to eat and we saw 7 DeLoreans.
We did, bro. We went to Firefly.
It's a DeLorean meetup, and we're sitting there eating tapas. I was like, "Yo, one showed up, then another one." And I was like, "Wait a second."
It was a cosplay meeting with cards instead of humans. Lifer, we're so happy to have you, man. It's been a while since you've been on our show. What a day to bring you on. Bitcoin attempting to hold above $100,000. Is that your line in the sand? I've heard a lot of TA analysts, Lifer, say if we lose 100 for a significant amount of time, they're more apt to say the top is in and we're in a bear market. Where do you stand on current market conditions? And Lifer, if you want to pull up a Bitcoin chart, I'll show this really, really quick. This was posted by Crypto Banter, Ran. He said, in hindsight, 2025 wasn't a bull market. And he's showing snapshots starting the first week of January. And I'll just tell you, Bitcoin started the year at $98,314. ETH started at $3,600. Fast forward to today, Bitcoin's at 101.7 and ETH is below where it opened the year. And so you look at things like this and people like Ren and others are saying, was this really a bull market? And if it wasn't, what does that mean for 2026? Lifer, what's your analysis? Where are you at, my friend? If you want to talk through it over a chart, please feel free to do so.
Yeah, there's so much to go over, right? It's like nuts. I'll obviously have to pop a chart out. Thank you so much for having me, guys. Shout out to all the Sin City crypto people in there. Hola!
Let's go.
Yeah, I want to see you guys bugging out. So here's the deal. For me, we've been in a bull run, right? It was a bull run, but it started in 2023, right? Look, it's been a 3-year bull run. Like that was January of 2023. It will soon be January of 2026. Bitcoin went up. How much do you want? Like I tell people, how much do you want? Oh, let me make the whole screen. How much do you want? Like 3-year straight of pumps with some nice little pullbacks, the beautiful 618s. Like, I mean, Bitcoin was beautiful. Came near the monthly 21, and it's been riding the 21-day moving average technically. So, I mean, for me, I was always been more of a Bitcoin maxi. I'm not a maxi. I love altcoins, but I usually just trade altcoins to make some money on the side and to put some money into Bitcoin. You know, I'm not ever really trading. I've held Cardano for like 7 years, and that's just kind of like, you know, my iron foot, but it is what it is. Like, besides that, I'm always trying to acquire more Bitcoin. You know, when I first got into the game, I watched the OGs, and they said, don't look at your USD value. Look at how many Bitcoins you own. And they say to focus on that and keep that true to your heart for the next 10 years. And I've been, you know, I'm all about conviction, and I've stuck to that. So in my mind, you know, we've been in a bull run, but the institution, see, everyone said, why was this different? And people ask me a lot. And I've reassessed. all the other years I basically would start accumulating before a lot of people. Like here, I started accumulating 2019. Luckily, boom. Here, I started accumulating down in here. Boom. I started accumulating in 2022, back here in December, right after Bitcoin bottom came up. And then I was buying a lot of altcoins in these areas. I bought Solana, you know, I bought it at 12 and then I bought it at 20 and I was swing trading it. I swung trade a good enough bag and then I put 100 grand in Solana at $100. And I've been in it ever since. I recently just took my money. I have to be honest. I took it out at 150. I took 50 grand and I maybe go back in, but like what Rob said, I did exactly what Rob said. I see a trend change. I'm not riding the trend to the downside, man. And I'm going to explain that in a second if someone wants to see why I sold some of my Solana, right?
Please,
but
yeah.
So the idea is this. I'm not a numbers guy. You asked me the specific question about the 100,000 BTC.
Yeah.
I'm a moving average guy, okay? And I stick really hard to the daily 200 moving average. Now, I use it in conjunction with the monthly and the weekly chart. I've never used the monthly chart more than I have. I've been going over the monthly every day now for the last 3 months. As the market got more mature, I had to start looking at bigger time frames to make sense of the market, right? It's kind of how it works. So I'll first start with the monthly. When the monthly got really high, you have to remember it got away from the 21. Whenever you get away from a 21 on any time frame, look here, the rally, we got away from the 21. You got to start coming back to it. Here we got away from the 21. We had to gravitate back to it. We're getting close now, which is interesting. But look, there's 2 scenarios here that you have to be open to. Shoulder, head. That could make a right shoulder, man. No one's, you know what I mean? I don't see a lot of people talking about this. That measured move would take you somewhere down to, I don't know, 47, 50K. And you'd think we'd bounce somewhere at 69 first, you know what I mean? But I see somewhere between 50 and 75,000, right? If this was a bull, if that was every single bull run I've ever gone on every asset in the world has bearish divergence on the monthly, the 21's away from the 200, like on the weekly, the 200 and the 21 are far apart. If I showed you basically 100 assets in the last 10 years that all pumped and they all started to dump, they would look exactly like this when they started to dump. I kept saying to everyone, if this keeps going, it'll be the first time I've ever seen an asset continue to go. I said, I'm open-minded. It's Bitcoin, so maybe it does. I said, but compared to my analysis, I buy when the moving averages are tight on big time frames. I start to realize that we're getting towards the end or near the end when the 21 and the 200 are far apart. It's a real, you can see it, and you can do this on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, you can do this on any time frame you want. So this told me, you know, and this is an Adam and Eve double top. Whenever 2 candles close next to each other, like a red next to a green, look at that, red next to a green, we had a pullback. Red next to a green, pullback. You know, it's funny, I threw a lot of my indicators out recently and I just started trading a red candle next to a green one, like straight up. Like I'd wait for the daily to close a green candle next to a red one. I'd get in with a stop below the wick. That played out like 7 out of 10 times in the last few months. It's interesting how simple you can make it, but that was bearish to me, right? And then you see the shoulder, the head, the right shoulder there. So on Monday morning, I told everyone that the highest probability was to short the market when this right shoulder got made on the daily time frame here. You see? Because it was just obvious that we were bearish. And you can also see there was a head and shoulder here, right? So it's like, I don't know, man. Bitcoin made multiple head and shoulders. It was obvious. What I see happening now is I'm planning a big short. This to me looks like a daily flag because my system is simple. I wait for price action to get above a 200. You can either aggressively get in immediately, but you don't know if that's a short squeeze that's going to stop you out. But you'll get a bigger gain. This is a higher reward. I wait for consolidation after the main pump near the 21. I'm telling you, this happens on every asset in the world. Like every time Bitcoin got ripped up, it consolidated near the 21 above the 200. You could trade any asset you want. Here it is again. It consolidates above the 200 near the 21. And I trade this over and over again. It's this is another one, and a beautiful consolidation. It's near the 21, above the 200, you get a pump. I don't know why this happens. I don't question that. I just know some bots and algorithms, some big boys that trade, they've programmed the market to do this. And I know it does this.
Lifer, it's funny because I remember that tweet that you said, or when you said you told your community, and I remember waking up Monday, I saw that.
You talking about the 100K Solana?
No, on BTC. Here, you pull this up. I think I'm not sure if this is the one you're talking about, but I caught this on the beginning of the week, and I remember looking at it, and I was like, I digested it, and I was like, okay, maybe I need to prepare for a downturn, which I had my antennas up, and I did exit out of some trades. You saved me some money here. I'll just be honest with you. This one stuck in my head, so I don't know. I don't know if that's the one you were alluding to.
In the middle of the night, I see a tweet from you, and it goes, "Thank you," and I'm like, "Okay." I guess it is something. You know,
Oh, is that the one I replied to?
Yeah, you did. You did.
Oh
What did you
yeah,
guys do?
that was it. Yeah, here.
Oh, you
Yeah, I
just
had.
go, "Thank you
I was
for
like,
this."
thanks
Yeah,
for
yeah.
this. Yeah, I remember.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading it. And I'm not. Full disclosure, I was sitting on the toilet on my phone, and I was like, all right, that's the best time to exit trades. By the way, is when you're.
And everyone's rallying for crypto, and you have to come out and be extremely bearish because the probabilities are what they are. Because like, people won't listen to me if I just say whatever I want, right? I gotta say what the probabilities are telling me, and sometimes that's hard for me. Like as a trader, I'm a person. I'm Sam Price, the degen all guy that wants the markets to continue to never go down. And I'm the crypto lifer who is an analyst that has to separate those two people, right? And like, man, I want Bitcoin to keep going up. I love Bitcoin. I've been in Bitcoin for almost 10 years now. But like when you're below a 200 moving average, you make a right shoulder, you're below the point of control. And so what I'm seeing is consolidation. So you flip this upside down. This is how I trade long. I wait for the 21 to cross above the 200. And so I'm looking like 4 to 5 days from now for consolidation. And I see a move to like $97,000, $98,000. That's what's for me. There's like an 80% chance of this happening. I'd rather it reverse crazily, stop everyone out, and get back above the 200 moving average. If it gets above the 200, I do the same thing. I'll wait for us to get above, consolidate, and if we flag out and the 21 touches, I'll take the trade because I know that's the safest, most high probability place to get in. So you didn't even have to take the initial short. This looks like it's going to be the gimme coming up here, and everyone's going to think, but everyone thinks it's going short, so we can't short now. That's just like when it kept pumping, and everyone said it can't keep pumping, so they kept shorting. The masses are wrong. The charts are right? So you got to listen to the charts and play the probability. And again, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if I'm going to be right for sure, but I've been pretty dang accurate for years. So
Lifer, the theme of today's show was sell these to rotate into these, right? And I open up the show with I'm going to pick one that's going to surprise people, right? Because I am bullish on this project. And the project that I'm selling now to try to make money and potentially rotate back in is what you're going to see on your screen here in a second. It's Solana.
Yeah.
And Sam, I know you mentioned you just recently sold. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. The reason I am rotating out of Sol to get into other ones that I think have higher potential for, a big price move to the upside. I think, look at what happened to Bitcoin after the ETF was launched. Look what happened to Ethereum after the ETF was launched. Now, I could very well be wrong, and this gets completely invalidated, and I look like a jackass, which is definitely a possibility. We saw months of consolidation on Bitcoin and ETH after the ETF went live. And I think we're going to see the same thing with Solana. But the thing here is this. Once that consolidation is over, Solana is going to melt faces on its rally. I just don't see it happening over the next 3 months. That is my thesis. So I'm rotating out of Solana and I'm rotating into lower cap AI plays. That's kind of where I'm going. I'll share which one it is. Rob, do you want to share quick thoughts and then we'll go to Lifer and we'll kind of get his thoughts on why he sold his Solana?
Dave likes to rotate.
I'm still bullish on Solana. I think that once the
am too.
Once altcoins come back, as far as the meme coins just live there. Like, it's hard to make an argument that meme coins aren't going to have their time in the sun here again in the near future, especially if Bitcoin continues its rally and we're over that $150,000 mark. I don't see a scenario where that happens and meme coins don't run. And meme coins are just fading on ETH, and it's the bread and butter of transactions. The DEXs just fly off the shelf. Like it's just it's the place to be is Solana when the altcoin ecosystem's going. When retail's just jumping in. That said, I see what y'all are saying. Maybe it's not the best time to get in. I don't know. Maybe we get a better price. I don't know.
Like I said, I'm still bullish on Solana, dude. I just think in the next 3 months, while the ETFs buy, I think Solana's going to consolidate, man. That's just me.
I just see good value at 150, but I don't know. I'm not as plugged into the charts as much as you guys. I will just throw mine
is not chart driven. Mine is just a thesis.
I will say that for me personally, and we can always circle back to mine. I'm not seeing anything positive out of Avalanche, man. Every time Avalanche.
Wait, before you get on Avalanche, let's. Is that going to be one of the ones you're selling?
Yeah, that's definitely it.
Okay,
until I see a reversal or trend change, man. It's just ever since like the last month, there's been nothing, dude. There's been no bounce.
Okay.
And everything else has at least got a little bit of a comeback.
Well,
sometime.
Avalanche did get a bid, and then it died down. But let's come back to Avalanche in a second. I want to go to you, Lifer, on your Solana chart, and then we'll go to Rob for AVAX, and we'll get your thoughts on AVAX too. You said you sold your Solana at sounds like $150. What were you seeing on the chart there, Lifer, and why didn't you sell at 280 versus 150? Is there something you saw that kind of concerned you?
Yeah, 100%. So I wanted to stay. I wanted to sell at $500.
Yeah.
Right when I got into and I wrote it up 189. Right, I was up 90K. I wrote it up here. I was up 150,000. Right. I wrote up here. I was up 200,000. Like I wrote it up here. I was up 160K. And like, honestly, like I've been in trading for almost 20 years now. I've held things for 2 years and gotten out. I've held things for 3 years. And I started to ask myself about the mental capital it was doing to me, man. Watching an asset go up and down and up and down. And they say, oh, but like hodl and it's all about patience. But like I've been through this, like I've done this for 20 years. And like this has been like the most painstaking hodl I've ever felt in my life, man.
So
it's
true.
been, and I'm like I can take, my mom died in front of me. Like I watched her, peel away for 3 days in a coma while I had to live stream. Like I've been through gut wrenching pain that most people I don't think want to even consider yet. And some people even worse than me. I'm not trying to say mine's the greatest, but I equate that to money, right? When money goes up and down, you get sick. And again, I don't want my mom, like, I'd give all my money away to see her for an hour, but I don't ever want to do that. But you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that the only thing I can equate to losing tons of money was when I lost my mom. Like there's a serious feeling of pain. There's emotions. It's a dark hole. And whenever we lose a 200 moving average, to me, the trend has changed. The asset is telling you, and you can go through look at the last time Solana lost the daily 200 here. And again, here we lost the daily 200, but you have to remember Bitcoin's weekly wasn't so high, right? Bitcoin was still in an uptrend. So you had that to carry over. Bitcoin is not in an uptrend right now. I don't care what you're saying. It's not in an uptrend. It has lost the daily 200 moving average. It has made a lower high on the daily. It's made a lower low on the daily. Okay. Like it's lost a low on the monthly. When it went below 10, today, when it goes below 1025, that's a monthly support. It has to hold. If it doesn't hold that, 96,000 is likely. So Solana got held by the 4-day 200 moving average, which is kind of like hopium, smopium, right? Now, again, it's bounced off it twice now. For some reason, it likes the 4-day 200. Look at it. Bounce there. Perfect. That could be a perfect buy. So here's the deal. I have capital. And I asked myself, I said, all right, I'll get out of 150. I said, and then if I believe it gets back up and gets strength, I'll put 300 grand in at 200 and I'll ride the 200 and I'll still make the 50 I made and fine. I won't make the 500 grand. I'll make like 350. But what I will do is keep myself from riding. I'm done. I'm done riding. I'm a professional trader now, man. I'm done riding downtrends. I'm not doing that anymore. I have too much knowledge of the charts. I'm not going to sit there and watch a bear flag below the daily 200 and believe that I'm going to make money. Like that's. So I could either take some of my profits right now and begin a DCA, 20 grand here, 20 grand there, and say, okay, I'll DCA down if we do, or make a 20 grand buy here and then DCA into this area. Another thing that you said, which was so interesting, is I've been doing my analysis. And if you've watched my channel, I keep watching Sol. Here's another reason I sold it. It pumps. I see it headed to 244. I see it coming back to 2, and I see it doing this. That means it's not breaking out till February or March. That means I'm going to sit there again and watch sideways price action on an asset like I did for the last 2 years. I'm all set, man. And you know what? I made $50,000 off 100 grand. That's actually pretty dang amazing.
That's great.
It's like one of my bigger trades. Yeah, it's a lot of people would cut their right hand off to make 50 grand off 100,000, right?
Yep.
It took a lot longer than I thought. I wanted to make more. I did feel kind of like a panic seller at one point, but that's everyone getting into my head,
Lifer, let me cut you off real quick.
Yeah, please.
I love that. One of the reasons why I love you so much is you're a very emotional person, and I don't mean that in a negative way. And you show that to the people watching because, as you're saying, I felt like a panic seller. It's people getting in my head. Me as a viewer, and also as a content creator, and I can't imagine the people watching. they're like, yeah, I've kind of felt that way too.
We've
It's
all
just
done it,
not
man. We've all done it, bro.
But a lot of people never say it.
Yeah, you try to
A lot of people
you
like,
try to
yeah,
act like a good, like you're a good
Yeah,
trader.
like they're great, they're not human. So I love that you show, like, you talk about, you know, the emotions through trading, because trading can be very emotional.
You
And so
asked me.
I just wanted to say that.
David asked me at the beginning of the show. I was telling him about a trade I was getting into. He's like, when would you sell this one? I was like, I don't know. He's like, well, what's your then I was just like, man, I'll just panic sell this shit when I feel it's necessary. When the markets talks to me and it's like it's time to get out, I'll just panic sell. I don't care. You know, they put so much hate on panic selling. You know, sometimes that intuition, it's not always right, but I would say that 70-80% of my panic selling has been at the right time.
But I don't know if panic selling is the market's turning, I need to sell. I don't think that's panic selling. I think panic selling is being a dumbass, but we'll get into that conversation later. Lifer, I interrupted
you.
you.
Just call me selling is watching a
I did.
YouTuber who said he's going to hold something for 5 months.
Yeah.
You buy it without thinking about it. You're up $5,000. A day later, you're down $2,000 and you sell it, right? Then you get in again and then it starts going down again. You sell it. And next thing you chew through like 10 grand in a week or two. In an asset that you should have just bought and held. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're panic selling. You're constantly just going with your emotion. To me, this was not emotional. I assessed the daily 200 moving average. I said, that looks like a bear flag. I have to eventually have an analysis and I have to go with it, right? There has to be a probability I eventually have to believe with the math that I've done. It's telling me Bitcoin's going down to 97.5, which means Solana's going further down. Like, it means I'm going to be able to buy Solana back somewhere between $100. I'll tell you, 90% of people will never sell Solana right here because they don't have the guts to do it. I'll tell you that right now because it took me years to be able to hit the sell button. And I know 90% of traders watching right now would love to be me and sell Solana, but they can't. They're too paranoid it could be, you know, I took money in front of me that was real, man. I took $50,000 that was real. That's real. People keep thinking that the dream of the 10X is real, but that's never been real. You know, it's never been real. Like, it's only been in your mind the whole time. Like, the longer you trade, the more you'll take gains. If I did this 10 more times, that's $500,000, right? So, and that creates habits. When you sell up, you're going to continue to sell up. If you hold the rest of your life, you're going to hold the rest of your life.
Bingo.
Whatever you do today is going to become the habit of your trading career. I sell in profits. That means I'm going to continue to do so. I'm creating a habit, right? So, and who cares? People are going to say stuff, oh yeah, influencers are the first to sell. People love saying whatever they want. I took profits. They can't, you know what I mean? They can't say anything about that. I took profits, man.
Well, everyone's, and I'm pretty sure, Lifer, but everyone's sell button looks the same for the most part, right? We all have the same sell button we can hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you're using some weird Asian exchange that has the sell button, the word sell. Anyways, Sam, I agree, and it sounds like you and I are kind of in.
Mine says walk this way, and then like a little, and then Aerosmith plays.
It sounds like Lifer, you and I are kind of on the same page with Solana. You know, you're looking at it from a chart TA perspective. I'm looking at it from what happened to ETH and Bitcoin. And so with that, I don't want to let my money sit there and dwindle down. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not bullish on Solana. It doesn't mean I won't buy back in. But for the next 3 months, I want to maximize.
I do want to make sure that we do circle back around to some projects we do like, because I know we're going to get around to Avalanche here after. Actually, we can just jump into that real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Avalanche is something that is disappointed me. Is a very big Avalanche bull. It had a very strong gaming narrative, RWA, stable coins. They have an ETF. You know, it has everything you would want in the blueprint, and I just kept holding. But this is on the 1 month here. You can see here as well. You know, this is interesting. I left this bear flag that you put up here a long time ago, which did essentially play out.
Well, that kind of the flag extended, so that turned into like a rising wedge, but channel. Anyways, yeah. But it's just on an ugly ass down. And the thing is that we've seen Bitcoin come back and bounce, but we have not seen it out of Avalanche. I mean, if you put the two next to each other, I don't know where the hell my comparison one is, but
to what, Bitcoin?
Yeah, where should be on the bottom, below it, right below it.
I'm not seeing. Anyways, yeah, it's just not. It's not doing anything, man. It just keeps losing steam against all the other layer ones. It's trading ugly against Bitcoin. And I'm not seeing anything on the narrative space. The game, Web3 and gaming is kind of faded. I'm not seeing anything on the horizon. They shot their shot with off the grid game. It was popular.
What
It
happened?
just didn't keep up, man. It didn't stay around for long enough. And so I've had a big bag. I sold it for a loss and I rotated it into Zcash. And I've made up my money plus some. And so it was the best rotation for myself personally. I know I was very vocal on Zcash. I was very vocal on Dash. And those two have well outperformed Avalanche. Maybe Avalanche bounces back. I will be happy to jump back into the Avalanche. Just currently, I need to see a reversal before I do so. So that's a little bit the narrative on what they're coming out with is falling flat, gaming falling flat, stable coins falling flat, chart falling flat. And so, what do you think, Lifer? What's Avalanche saying to you?
I mean, oh God. I like what you just said. Like, I just put, 25 grand into Dash at the beginning of the show. I'm already up a couple $1,000. I could have been sitting there just staring at my Solana bag, wondering if it was going to go up or down again. Like, I realized, you know what? There's mental torture that can be worth more than monetary value. And you only realize that after years of trading, because you'll think of all the pain you went through. And you know what? I'll take a loss for mental clarity sometimes to be able to see clearly. When you're holding bags, they drag your brain down. When you sell those bags, you somehow have you're light on your feet, man. You tell yourself that anything could happen and that you're on to the next one. It's like you open up for the next journey. AVAX, horrible, right? I loved it. I remember when it was $13 when I first heard about it, $12, $13, and I watched it rip. And it did that great move to 140. And again, you know what's funny? AVAX was actually the eye-opener to me because a lot of the other coins did well. Like you had the Solanas, and AVAX was always like a little bit behind, but always moved with the crowd, right? Bitcoin would pump, you'd get your AVAX pump. And then Bitcoin ripped, but AVAX did not. Like we got stomped there, right? And remember that March and December of 2024, that was the altcoin season. It was from October 2023 to March of 2024. We saw 100Xs like you wouldn't believe. We never saw it again. But that was altcoin season. We had an altcoin season. People don't remember. I can show you 80Xs, 100Xs. GFI was like a penny. It went to 261 in like a day and a half. There was all sorts of crazy stuff going on behind the scenes and real world assets and stuff. It was nuts. But once AVAX came back down here and Bitcoin kept going and AVAX didn't, I realized that it wasn't the same market we were in and that AVAX may never get to 140 again. And I started coming to a realization that even if because you could see how much time would take, you can see how much time, like you could just take time. Take this and say, okay, here's your bars pattern and say, okay, if this was going to make the move, right? You'd put it here and you'd be like, okay, that's if it goes exponentially well. Someone's talking about it all day long. It's getting great news and great volume. That gives it 72 by April, man. And so like, I don't think it's ever going to 140 again. And I started coming to this realization that unless we had some super cycle, none of these altcoins were headed back to their all-time highs.
Did you say you don't think it's ever?
They were going to maybe go somewhere.
You don't think it's ever going back to its all-time high? So you
I don't think so.
So you're saying this is a dead coin?
No, I think that's a funny thing that he said. It's got ETFs. It's got a great team. It's got backing. It's got good DeFi, right? I mean, there's so much cool stuff with Avalanche. It can work, but at the same time, look at Phantom, man. Phantom had all that. No one's talking about Sonic anymore. That thing went down the tubes, bro. MATIC the same way. MATIC had all the development. MATIC was the best. MATIC this and that. It was cheap. No one cares about MATIC anymore. I think it's going into the MATIC in the Phantom graveyard, man. I think it's going to head down into that area. I think he's very smart for moving on. The best play, okay? If the best play in your last few months was $24 to $35, like that was its best move. I actually gave this to the trading group because I saw it consolidating. Again, it was the 21 on the daily. It was the 21 above the 200. See, I trade the 21 above the 200. It's a very simple way to make money. All right. And I take the measured move and I wait for the stochastics to get low when I enter the trade. Like it's like almost foolproof, but it doesn't happen every time, but it happens way more. That was it, man. You could have got in nicely at 25 and got out at 36. Like that was it. Kidding me? Like that's trash, bro. Like it's trash. Like, and so now you have to DCA in at the very bottom and get ready to hold now for 4 months. Like I'm all set, man.
That move right there.
That story.
That move right there is when I sold. When I saw it lose support, and I was just like, I saw it, and I was like, that was it. That was the big pump. I anticipated coming. Yeah,
I'll swing trade this. I'll swing trade this reset on 37 up to 66, and maybe I'll put 40 grand in it, and I'll put 40 grand. I'll make 76%. I'm realizing now I'm swing trading big bags when the market gets hot. I'm not a hodler anymore, man. I've changed the way I traded. I've changed my lifestyle. I've changed the amount of money that I use. I don't trade the same.
I'm doing
man.
the same, man. I'm doing the same. I just keep a nice big bankroll, and then I just spot trade.
Bitcoin like
I just swing
yeah.
trade. I swing trade the trends, and it's been working wonderfully. And I just wait for a clear reversal. I know I did want to move on to a couple things that we're looking at. Yesterday, we brought up MINA protocol at 13 cents. I told you, I'm like, guys, I think this is ZK. It's in the ZK rollups kind of narrative that is running. We saw ZK Sync get super hot. Also, it's kind of like a legacy coin. It's something that's been around for a while. It's not as old as Dash, but it's still from last cycle. It was, historically at, $4. Will it get there? Probably not. But from make a money, swing trade, catch the narrative, catch the trend. I think it's a great short-term play. I got in on this at 13 cents. Well, first I got in at 12 cents. And then I sold once the market turned down. But I got back in at 15. And so my current entry position, 15 cents on MINA. I'm liking this. DigiByte, I think, is also another narrative from kind of like these old coins coming back around. I would be cautious on this one, not too sold on it, but DigiByte, something I just got an eye on.
Can I pull something up for you?
And MINA protocol. Those two, I think MINA's going to do well.
Let me pull something up for you because Rob brought up Dino coins, and I was actually going to talk about it. This is snapshot from the end of 2016, okay? These were the coins. Litecoin, Monero, Ethereum Classic. I was actually thinking, can Ethereum Classic run? Dino run, right?
I doubt it.
The other ones I recognize, obviously Dogecoin, Waves, Stellar, Zcash, Tezos was here, Golem. That's an interesting one. I was looking at Golem.
Tezos had a pump recently as well.
Which one was it? You said OMG, Lifer?
Yeah, that's Golem, right?
Oh, Golem, yeah. It's GNT. I thought, didn't they change their ticker?
Well, maybe they did. From back in the day, it was OMG.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, that's Omacy Go, man. I'm getting Omacy Go was an old one. Remember Omacy Go, man?
Yeah.
that's a dinosaur.
That's a dinosaur. Well, what do you got there, Lifer? What do you got pulled up on your chart there?
I was looking at Omacy Go, but you had you were talking about this is one I wanted to hook them up with. Let's give them some value.
I think he's talking about MINA.
All right.
Yeah. MINA. He's got ZK. I'm curious to see what ZK says.
Well, I wanted to give them two things. ZF, which is ZF, which is ZK Swap. All right. Okay. ZK Swap Finance. That's a low cap narrative right now. 002. Right. So if you get this up. If Dash keeps moving, if Zen keeps moving. So right now we got Zen, we got Dash, we got ZK Sync, we got ZF, ZK Swap, we've got MINA. There's a lot of opportunity in the next 4 to 5, 6 days really here to capitalize if this really runs. I like MINA. I got into MINA years ago on and off. It's supposed to be the smallest blockchain in the world, right? It takes a picture of a picture. That's the idea. Like, if you, you can put the whole blockchain on your phone, right? The idea is it's the smallest blockchain in the world, right? So I like MINA at that higher low, like you're saying. For me, you took the aggressive entry, right? Because it could make a right shoulder and come down. I'd like to see it come up and consolidate. That's where I would like to get in there with a stop below your entry there, kind of like that. Like if I were to swing it, I'd like to get in around 18. The sad thing about swinging, sometimes you miss the best entries, but you get a less risky entry. So that's what I learned too. I said, man, I used to always have to get the low, but now I give up 5 to 6% to get a safer entry, right? And then I know I can get, I'll just get the 40% instead of the 67 or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think you have a way here to run. I think you hooked up on something there, man. I'm happy to be here to get this value. You guys might have helped me make a swing trade here too, so I like that.
What's that price target there, Lifer? How many cents?
28 cents even. Yeah.
There was a lot of similarities. I was here. I was beating the drum on Dash for when it was at $30. I was like, hey man, I'm like Zcash is running. I have a feeling this is gonna spill over to Dash. I was begging our community to take a closer look at it. And I'm kind of I'm kind of on the same camp as MINA. The one thing with MINA is that if the market trend reverses, if the market sells down, Bitcoin loses 100K, you will get stuck in MINA, and you'll be probably down to 12, 10 cents.
No,
again.
these are definitely high risk swing trades that you have to have. I'd have to have a stop on, and you have to be like, if I go in, like I'll swing trade 20K, and I'm like, dude, I'll risk $3,000 to see if I can make 40. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if it doesn't go my way, like. And then, you know, again, it's not easy, man. This market is sketchy. Like, you know, I don't know why. October 10th, I'm looking at the market. I saw something I didn't like that morning. And I said, guys, I'm going to tether up. Not a lot. I just sold some things that were like that I didn't really truly believe in. I was swing trading some stuff that I thought I was in Aster and doing all that other stuff. And I said, you know what, man, I'm done doing high risk. I'm going to start tethering up. I tethered like 80, 90 grand. Next thing I'm at lunch and my buddy had come visit me. I haven't seen in 4 years. I'm about to put the salad in my mouth and he says 105, man. And I think he's playing with me, but he knows that I'm the crypto lifer and he knows how like stressed I am about a lot of money. And I almost know that he wouldn't do that to me. So I'm like, 105, dude? We were at 117 like earlier this morning. Like I was like, 105? Maybe it was 113 or something. But I could not. I looked at the phone and I couldn't believe what I saw. October 10th, I could not believe what I saw. And I've been in this market for a long time. We still haven't recovered from that, man. People are damaged from that day, man. I'm telling you right now, like I'm strong, so I'm back. Man, I'm one of the few people that can come back. A lot of these, and I wasn't over liquidated, thank God. I actually had sold the top on a plane home from Singapore. I made 22 grand in Singapore, one of my best weeks trading leverage ever while I was in Singapore. Come home, sell the top at 9 a.m. on the plane because I had literally live streamed in the business class flight. Like I had the mic and everything. I didn't give a damn.
Did you really?
And like, yeah, I did. You know, I have it all. I'm gonna put it out. I have it all documented. Like it's crazy. Like I'm building it. There's wires everywhere. The lady's like, "We're landing." I got wires everywhere.
You're crazy, bro.
I was like, I gotta put a studio away.
The guy brought a studio onto an airplane. Nice.
It was so awesome, man.
You know what it sounds like you need, Lifer? It sounds like the next time you fly to like Singapore, Dubai, you need to get one of those like $20,000 suites where you have your own room and it's got a bed and a table and a TV. And then, bro, like that, man, you just got 17 hours. You can just straight up live stream the entire day. It's funny. We keep talking about the Dino coin narrative. I like the Dino coin narrative, but I also like the AI narrative.
Yeah, the one thing I'll just say about the Dino coin narrative is that
Dino coin,
the Dino coin narrative.
Dino coin.
So is the fact that these have distributed their value out in their tokenomics for quite some time, and so. In contrast, the newer projects that are launching, especially the ones that are out here in 2021, especially the ones that have come to be from airdrops in the last 2 to 3 years, the tokens just haven't went out and diversified, and because it just hasn't been accumulated by the masses yet. And so I feel a little more confident with these Dino coin pumps because of the distribution of the tokens. And the fact that it's not centralized into a handful of devs and early investors, and so I'm a little bit more YOLO into these, man. I feel more confident. If this was a meme coin craze and there were meme coins popping off, I usually just sit on the sidelines. I'm like watching fireworks. I'm like, oh, it looks cool, man. I see people making money, but I ain't dipping my toe in there. Nope. But with Dino coins, it's a little different, dude. They're not as up and down because one early dev or some sniper has a big ass bag. And so I think it's a great opportunity to make money. I would hone in on this over the next, I don't know, however long it lasts, maybe 3 weeks, maybe 3 months. I don't know,
3
but
days. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm gonna ride it as long as it's out there, man. I like this. I like this trend. This is a good one, man. I'm making a lot of money on this shit.
You put two things out of huge value right now. Number one, a lot of the newer people don't understand what you just said, right? They unlock, right? Only 30% of the supply's out, and they're gonna dump on me at one point. Like that can't happen to these coins you're talking about, right? They're kind of 90, 80% of the supply, 85% of the supply it's out there. So when someone makes a big buy too, it's going to affect the price better, right? Because all the supply's out. Number two, you talked about shifting when you have to. Today was great for the people, man. This was one of the best value for me. Even like if I was a new trader and I'm going over what you guys said today, rotating when you have to, not listening to the herd. You did it and it actually paid off. You got out of some, a coin that wasn't working, AVAX. You got into Zcash, right? That takes a lot of. You had to fight a lot of fear there. You had to push through your belief system. You had to believe the things that you were seeing were true and fight through your emotions. Like that was a huge, for me, that like for you as a trader, that's a huge play, man. Like I'd be very proud of yourself. And then talking about the fact that we might be able to catch a wave here when everyone else is focused on the dumping of Bitcoin, all their bags are down. That's when you got to transition into the opportunity. You won't see the opportunity if all you do is stare at your bag. It's like stepping in dog crap and staring at the dog crap on your shoe. It's time to wipe it off. Go put on a new pair of shoes. Live the rest of your day. You know what I mean? There's a whole day out there. Don't stare at the dog crap. You know what I mean?
Unless it's stuck under your shoe, and then you got to stare at it to figure out the best course of action.
You get the stick, you get the hose.
Do I take it off and do a hose? Do I do the thing where you stand up and you're just like, just trying to get it off using concrete? And so that's the only time.
Yeah,
but
you put it through the corner there. Yeah.
We've
all been there. Everyone here has stepped in dog crap.
Am I the only one that takes the stick and then gets it out?
I've done that too. The grooves, okay. Yeah.
No, I take the stick. I've been in there. Yeah. It's been a long time.
It's very labor intensive, though. Yeah. Lifer, before we let you go, there was a question in the.
It's too damn hot.
There was a question in the community in the chat. Someone said, because you said I still hold Cardano, and someone said, Lifer, if you're done holding and watching things go down, why are you still holding Cardano? I'm not trying to be funny.
That's a good one.
Would you like to respond to that
question? Honestly, I've asked myself that question, and you know what? I said, if that bear flag continues, and I'm even more apt that we're going to go down to 75, 50K. I got under Cardano 7 years ago, around 2 cents. It was probably like $2,000 or something. I sold a little bit, got back in at 8 cents, and it's about $50,000 sitting on a hardware wallet right now, and like it's staking, right? But I'll be honest, every time I go on X, I see Charles moaning at someone and someone moaning at Charles. Just like, I shouldn't even mention this, but it's, let's be honest, right? You guys have seen it. And so I don't know, man, like you guys are making me think maybe I should go open up that hardware wallet and he even was in there with the cryptos. Like I thought he was going to be in there with the Trump, right? They mentioned Cardano, XRP. I thought it was lit. We're going to see $3 Cardano. Bitcoin's going to rip to 100K. It seemed perfect, right? None of the stuff that we all dreamed up in the altcoin world happened this season at all. Like at all.
Lifer, my analysis on Cardano is Cardano has an identity crisis, right? It's like
answer that a person, I probably should sell it. You know what I mean? But yeah, back to you.
They love talking about the tech and how amazing the tech is. It's fast, it's decentralized, but everyone knows it's kind of a retail chain, right? Well, Lifer, do you think the average retail investor who's looking to just make money and trade gives two shits about Laos upgrade, making this and that, and they don't care about the tech?
The problem is the stable coin. It has no circle and no tether.
Well,
like it has to get one, man.
That is not the biggest issue, though. The biggest issue is the slippage on their DeFi protocols. People cannot enter and exit with size. The slippage sometimes is 70%, dude. 70% slippage.
That's because there's a lack of volume. There's a lack of retail. And why is there a lack of volume in retail? Because you can't use tether and you can't use circle. It doesn't exist there. And so for that reason, you're not going to get a lot of people in here. Nobody's going to go onto an exchange.
Fun ran the narrative. The kids were already Call of Duty. They already had the young kids, right? Aiden Ross, the streaming, the cabals. Then they moved it over to Pump Fun. And you could see how they did it, man. They just and then it was all Solana. Like it was so well manufactured and done. And no other chain was going to get that rally like that. It just wasn't going to happen. CZ can kind of balance it out because he's CZ, so he can run that BNB game. Yeah. That's really it, man. It's BNB and Sol, bro. Like at this point, like you stash Bitcoin long-term. BNB is a great long-term hold because CZ never stops. The guy's a grinder. I don't care what anybody says. Dude worked at McDonald's. Go look it up. And he became one of the richest people in the world. Like,
so did Trump.
If that doesn't inspire you, I don't know what to say. But whenever I see, he gets so much flack on Twitter. I'm one of the people that have always loved him and thought he's been spot on, but whatever. People think he's like the grimiest guy on earth, But man, this market has not given us the same cycles as before. You got to change your strategy. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? But at least I did something different. I'm not going to sit there and do the same thing over and over again. I'm really proud of your move in Zcash, Rob. It's
Yeah,
awesome,
and then I'm telling you, I rolled at. Well, here's the thing: on Zcash, I didn't get in at $30. You know, I highlighted. You know, I was like, "Hey guys, I think there might be something here."
It's called a soft mention.
Yeah, it was like a soft mention. It was like, there might be something here at $30. Then we got to 60, and I'm like, hey, this is a straight reversal trend. This is what I search for. I search for things that just continuously bleed down, and it just guts everybody out. And it just punches everybody in the stomach, and everyone is done. And then you see this with volume, with momentum, a strong reversal. And then I was like, hey, there's something to it, and I'm gonna put money behind it. And so I got in at between 60 and $70. I didn't ride it all the way up to 500. I didn't think it was gonna go that high, but I did take it to like 280.
You know what's funny?
And so
this is
but
gonna,
just
this is
great,
gonna,
you know?
This is gonna sound so gay.
But then I rotated from rotated from the 260 to dash at $30.
Just shut up for a second.
Go ahead.
This is gonna sound very gay. Very gay. But you know, in marriage, how you have like yin and yang, like your wife is good at few things, you're good at other things, you kind of complement each other. That's how me and you are, you know?
Why are you
hold
us
on?
to a married
Exactly.
couple,
I said it was going to
Oh,
be
by
gay.
the way, that
but
was
listen,
so funny earlier when you were like, I was talking to my good friend, not you, by the way.
listen, okay?
No,
You called Zcash,
so
and
hard behind the scenes.
Rob called Zcash. When he said Zcash, I was like, bro, no one cares.
Bro,
I
he
was
kept
wrong. Hold
telling-
on. I was wrong. You were right. Then you
saved
said,
the
I think it's
show,
topped
bro.
twice. I said, no, it hasn't topped. You were wrong. I was right. So we just need to mesh them together,
yeah,
bro.
But yeah, he was giving me so much flack. I was like, guys, Zcash. And he was like, Zcash, nobody cares. He went 2 episodes in a row.
That was me.
Just slam dunking on me, bro. And I was just like, can I talk, please? Zcash, man.
Yeah.
And you had it, dude. You made it. You've made some interesting. You've made some interesting calls.
Yeah, you should see the calls he makes that's not related to crypto. Anyways, our time on the show is up. Lifer, if we can go another hour, we would. We love having you on the show. And I'm just going to come on and say, man.
We got 333 live viewers right now.
We do.
Look at that.
I'm going to come on and say,
Dude,
if
so
you're up
creepy,
for it,
man.
man, we'd love to have you on here every Thursday or once a week that's available on your schedule. I think that the chemistry is there. Like, we love you. You love us, I hope.
I just had such a good time, man.
We always have great shows.
How much I love hanging out with you guys, man.
Yeah, man.
Come out to Vegas again, man.
Yeah, let me
I'll
get
be
him
there.
on the
I'll be
show
there.
every week first. Jesus, you are always ruining my negotiations.
I want to go to dinner, man.
Can you exit Lifer, listen.
He wants you to come back and do some TA. He loves your TA. I love your TA too.
You
But
gotta
I
come
want to hang
forward
out with my
too,
buddy,
man.
go get some food. I know
You
some
gotta
really
come
badass
forward,
restaurants
man.
out here, man. We got to get out. We got to go out and hit the culinary scene, man.
And every year, again, one thing I saw, Token 2049 and Bitcoin are on the same dates. Is this true? That's what I've been told by my
This year?
Yeah,
Like
they
in
like
2026?
somehow like yeah. So like I like them both. They're actually really good events. Like Token, because I was an American, I was all about the Bitcoin events, and I thought Token was some lame event. I went to Token and realized it was the opposite. Like Token's the hot event, man. Like you meet so many people around the world. You meet all the exchanges. You meet people that run crypto at Token. You meet same thing in Bitcoin. I don't want to put down the Bitcoin conferences in America, but like, man, you basically get international connections when you go to Token. Like it changes your life. You know what I mean? Like it's a serious deal. Like I advise anyone, if you ever get a chance to go to Token 2049, it's worth every penny, man, even though it is a bit pricey.
So Lifer, so you, well, part of you is right. So there's 2 Token 2049s. There's one in Dubai, one in Singapore. The one in Dubai is at the same time of the Bitcoin conference. Dubai Token 2049 is April 29th through 30th. Bitcoin is April 27th through the 29th. But I think the big Token 2049 event
the
is
Singapore
Singapore, which is in October.
It is.
October.
The Dubai
7th,
one's
right?
still pretty.
Yeah.
The Dubai one's second.
Yeah, the Singapore one is the biggest
I
one.
went
I
to
think
this one last, dude. The flight, a 14-hour flight to Doha, and then an 8-hour flight to Singapore. I was in a capsule for like, I flew 40 hours to go there and back. It was crazy. Like
that's nuts, bro.
it was an
Hey,
awesome time.
at least you
And
made
it was
money.
interesting to be the tallest guy on the train at 5'8", but
At least you traded and made money. Lifer, we got to end the show. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll let you. The people are
why does
watching.
it have to
and-
end? Why can't we just keep going forever? You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah, we'd love to, but yeah, we have to cut the show. Anything you want to say to the people watching before we leave, Lifer? Where can they find you? Please.
Well, Number one, go to cryptolifer.com if you want to find out more about me. And go to cryptolifer33 at cryptolifer33 on Twitter. I'm very active on X. One thing I want to say is this show brings a lot of value. Like, had you listened to this show and watched this show, you would have known about Dash at $30, $40. And you would have seen it continue to climb as well. Like, it's not like they just said it once. And then you could have watched my show, did some TA. And then both shows combined would have given you some serious value. It's been out there. It's been documented. The man was telling you about Zcash at $30. So this show has a lot of good value in it. You guys are starting to up the game. I even feel the conversation today was like on another level compared to the last few years. This show is amazing, guys. You guys are producing good value, and people can make serious life-changing gains if they pay attention. So,
amen to that, my friend.
thank you for bringing me in on this. I appreciate it. I had a really good time.
Thank you for the kind words. And I'll text you after to see if we can get you on a more regular basis. Again, we love having you on. Big thank you to Lifer, and big thank you to all of you watching. Production team, roll the outro. I already said thank you, so I won't say it again. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Sin City Crypto. Cash is Cuvée. Yeah. Sin City Crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are